Rachel's drunken confession plays on repeat in my mind like a broken record I can't shut off. I didn't know it would be so easy to convince you Noah was cheating, but you were dumber than I thought. 23 months have passed since that party in Fondren, where my entire world exploded, where I finally learned the truth about the lies that destroyed my family. 23 months since I realized I'd thrown away 12 years of marriage and shattered my children's security for absolutely nothing. I'm Jennifer, 35 years old, and I'm the woman who believed her jealous best friend over the man who loved me unconditionally. The woman who weaponized her own children against their father. The woman who spent months trying to destroy a good man's life because I was too proud, too angry, too stupid to listen to his side of the story. Now I live in a one-bedroom apartment in Clinton, surviving on my administrative assistant salary, while Noah has full custody of our kids in the 4-bedroom house in Madison we once shared. Our son Ethan is 10 now, our daughter Lily is 8. They see me every other weekend when they have to. The court-mandated therapy sessions revealed exactly how much damage I did during those months when I kept them from their father, poisoning their minds with lies about a man who'd never done anything but love them. But I should start from the beginning, back when I had everything and threw it all away because I trusted the wrong person. Noah and I met at Mississippi College when I was 19 and he was 21. He was studying accounting. I was in elementary education. We dated for 3 years, got married right after I graduated, and started building our life together in Jackson. He got a job at a firm downtown. I started teaching 3rd grade at a school in Ridgeland. We bought our first house at 24, had Ethan at 25, Lily at 27. The American dream wrapped up in a bow. For 12 years, Noah was the perfect husband. I'm not romanticizing it in hindsight, he genuinely was. He came home every night by 6:30, never went out with the guys unless I encouraged him to. Coached Ethan's soccer team and never missed one of Lily's dance recitals. Still brought me flowers every Friday just because. Made pancakes shaped like animals for the kids every Saturday morning while I slept in. Rachel had been my best friend since high school. We were inseparable. She was my maid of honor. I was hers. When her marriage fell apart 3 years ago after she caught her husband with his secretary, I was there for her every step of the way. She moved into a condo in Bellhaven, started dating again, tried to rebuild, but something changed in her after the divorce. The bitterness crept in slowly, like poison dripping into water you don't realize you're drinking. "Must be nice," she'd say when Noah surprised me with anniversary trips or random jewelry. "Some of us aren't so lucky." I should have seen the jealousy, should have noticed how she always had something negative to say about Noah. He was too perfect, or probably hiding something, or no man is really that devoted. I brushed it off as her projecting her own failed marriage onto mine. The weekend that destroyed everything started innocently. My mom had planned a girls' trip to Biloxi for her 60th birthday. Me, my sister, my mom, and my aunt. 4 days at the casinos, spa treatments, beach time. Noah encouraged me to go, said he'd handle the kids. "You deserve a break," he said, kissing me goodbye that Thursday morning. "Have fun with your mom. We'll be fine." Rachel wasn't on the trip, but she texted me constantly. Little things at first. Saw Noah's car at Starbucks today. Wasn't alone. Then, Brittany said she saw him at Target with some woman. I laughed them off. Noah probably had the kids with him, or maybe his sister was in town. Rachel had been spiraling for months, seeing cheating men everywhere, even where they didn't exist. The texts got more specific, more urgent. By Saturday night, she was calling me, her voice shaking and hysterical. "Jen, I'm at your house. I came to check on things, and there's a woman here, in your house, with Noah." My blood went cold. "What do you mean there's a woman there?" "I mean there's a fucking woman in your house. Her car's in the driveway. A red Honda. I can see them through the window." "Where are my kids?" "I don't see them. Oh my God, Jen, they're sitting really close on the couch." I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. My mother found me hyperventilating on the hotel bathroom floor. Through tears and gasps, I managed to get out what Rachel had told me. My sister grabbed my phone, tried calling Noah. He didn't answer, probably because it was 11 at night and he was asleep. But in my panic, that felt like confirmation. "We're leaving," my mother declared. "Right now." The 4-hour drive home was torture. Rachel kept texting updates. The woman was still there. She'd seen them kiss. She had pictures, but they were too blurry to send. By the time we hit the Jackson City limits at 3 a.m, I'd worked myself into a rage so pure it felt like fire in my veins. I didn't go home. Couldn't face seeing another woman in my bed. Instead, I went to Rachel's apartment, where she held me while I sobbed and raged and started planning my revenge without a single question asked. "I took some pictures," she said, showing me her phone. The images were dark, shot through windows, but I could make out Noah's silhouette and what looked like a woman with long dark hair. "And there's more. Brittany saw him at lunch with someone last week, and Carmen said he's been at the gym with some trainer." Every word was a nail in the coffin of my marriage. My friend, my best friend who'd never lied to me, was showing me evidence that my perfect husband was just another cheating bastard. "What do I do?" I asked, feeling hollow. "You protect yourself and those babies," Rachel said firmly. "Get a lawyer. Get him out of that house. Don't let him manipulate you." I sent Noah a text at 5 a.m. "I know what you did. I want you gone by the time I get home." Then I turned off my phone. When I finally went home Sunday afternoon, Noah was in the driveway, looking confused and worried. The kids ran out to greet me, but I barely saw them through my rage. "Jen, what's going on? What's this about? Where have you been?" "Don't you dare," I snarled. "Don't you dare stand there and pretend you don't know." "I honestly have no idea what you're talking about." "Rachel saw you! With her! In our house, with our children, God knows where!" His face went from confused to shocked. "Rachel? What? When? There hasn't been anyone here." "Stop lying," I screamed, not caring that the neighbors were watching. "She saw you with some woman. She has pictures." "Then let me see them. Because I swear to you, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've been here with the kids all weekend. We had pizza Friday, went to the park Saturday, church this morning." "Lies, all lies. Get out of my house right now." "Jen, please, let's talk about this rationally. Whatever Rachel told you." "Rachel's my best friend. She wouldn't lie to me. You're the liar. You're the cheater. Get out." The fight went on for hours, days. Noah kept insisting he'd done nothing wrong, kept asking to see this supposed evidence, but Rachel's photos were corrupted when she tried to send them. The other friends who'd supposedly seen things were too uncomfortable to get involved. Still, I believed her. Why would she lie? What could she possibly gain? I filed for divorce within a week, accused Noah of infidelity, emotional abuse, neglect. I was vicious in my accusations, determined to punish him for betraying me. When he refused to leave the house, I got creative. This is where I became the villain of my own story. I called the police, told them I was afraid of him, let my voice shake in all the right places. Said he'd threatened me. It was a lie, but I justified it as protecting myself and my children from a man who'd broken our family. They removed Noah from our home, and I filed for an emergency protective order. The kids were confused, scared, crying for their daddy. I held them and filled their heads with poison. "Daddy did something very bad," I told them. "He hurt Mommy's feelings. He chose someone else over our family." "But Daddy loves us," Ethan protested. "If he loved us, he wouldn't have done what he did," I insisted, believing every word that came out of my own mouth. For 5 months, I kept Noah from his children. 5 months of supervised visitations at a sterile facility where he got 2 hours a week to see his babies, while a social worker took notes. 5 months of telling anyone who'd listen what a monster he was, how he'd destroyed our family. But that was just the beginning of my cruelty. I went through our house like a vengeful ghost, destroying things that mattered to him. His father's watch that he'd inherited, I told him I'd sold it to pay for lawyer fees. Really, I threw it in Percy Quinn Lake during one of my rage-filled drives. The baseball signed by his favorite player from when he was 12, I let Ethan use it for practice until the signature wore off. 20 years of photos from our life together. I burned them in the backyard while drinking wine and laughing with Rachel. I called his employer, Trustmark Financial, and told them he was under investigation for domestic violence. He wasn't fired, but he was quietly moved from senior accountant to a back-office role with lower billable expectations. They cut his bonus structure and overtime eligibility, and his income dropped by nearly a third. I found his journal, years of entries where he'd written about his love for me and the kids, his hopes for our future, his struggles with work stress. I photocopied the pages where he'd mentioned feeling overwhelmed or anxious and submitted them to court as evidence of mental instability. A father who admits to anxiety attacks shouldn't have unsupervised access to children, my lawyer argued. When his mother called begging me to reconsider, I recorded the conversation and edited it to make it sound like she was threatening me. I filed a restraining order against her, too. The woman who'd welcomed me as a daughter, who'd taught me her family recipes, who'd held my hand through both births, I legally banned her from seeing her grandchildren. She had a mild heart attack from the stress. I told the kids their grandmother was sick because she was upset about what Daddy did. Even then, hearing she was in the hospital, I felt nothing but cold justification. I stalked his social media with fake accounts, screenshot anything that could be twisted. A photo of him at a work happy hour became evidence of alcoholism. A female colleague in the background of a group photo was proof he was dating already. When he posted about missing his kids, I claimed he was trying to manipulate them through social media. The worst thing I did, and I'm still sick when I think about it, was the birthday incident. Lily's 6th birthday fell during those 5 months. Noah sent a gift through his lawyer, a dollhouse he'd been building for her in secret, each room handcrafted with tiny furniture he'd made himself. He'd been working on it for months in the garage after the kids went to bed. I told Lily it was from me. When she asked why Daddy didn't send anything, I said he forgot because he was too busy with his new family. I watched my baby girl cry herself to sleep on her birthday, believing her father had forgotten her. Meanwhile, that dollhouse, hours and hours of love carved in wood, sat in her room with my name on it, a quiet little monument to my cruelty. My lawyer was ruthless, going after everything: the house, the cars, his retirement, full custody. Noah's lawyer kept requesting evidence of the affair, but I had none to give beyond Rachel's word and those blurry photos that had somehow disappeared from her phone. "It doesn't matter," my lawyer assured me. "We'll bury him in other ways." And I tried. God help me, I tried to destroy that man. I accused him of hiding assets, of being an unfit father, of exposing our children to his mistress. I turned our friends against him with my version of events. I made sure everyone knew what kind of man Noah really was. The kids suffered the most. Ethan started acting out in school, getting into fights, refusing to do homework. Lily stopped eating, stopped talking, cried herself to sleep every night. But I was too consumed by my rage and pain to see what I was doing to them. "They'll be fine once the divorce is final," Rachel assured me. "Kids are resilient." Noah fought back, of course, hired a private investigator, subpoenaed phone records, demanded proof of these alleged affairs. His lawyer filed motion after motion. The supervised visitations were slowly expanded as no evidence of abuse or neglect could be found. After 5 months, he got weekends. Then 50-50 custody. The first time I had to hand my children over for a full week, I thought I'd die. But my rage kept me going. This was his fault. He'd destroyed our family. He deserved to suffer. The private investigator Noah hired must have been good, because things started changing. My friends became distant. The ones who'd claimed to see Noah with other women suddenly couldn't remember details. My lawyer started asking uncomfortable questions about evidence, but I held on to my truth. Rachel had seen what she'd seen. Noah was guilty. I was the victim. For months this went on. Months of bitter custody battles, poisoned relationships, damaged children. Months of Noah maintaining his innocence while I painted him as the devil. Months of Rachel by my side, supporting me, validating my anger, encouraging my cruelty. Then came the party in Fondren, a mutual friend's birthday at a bar in the arts district. I almost didn't go. Seeing our old friend group was painful now that most had chosen Noah's side. But Rachel convinced me. "Show them you're doing great without him," she said. "Show them you've moved on." I hadn't moved on. I was surviving on rage and wine, but I put on a dress and my war paint and went. Noah wasn't there, thank God. But plenty of our old friends were. The conversations were stilted, awkward. Everyone knew what had happened, had chosen sides. I stuck close to Rachel, downing cocktails and pretending I was fine. Then Rachel got drunk. Really, truly, spectacularly drunk. It started with her laughing about something that wasn't funny. Then she got louder, sloppier, meaner. She started making snide comments about everyone there, about their marriages, their lives. I tried to calm her down, but she was beyond reason. "You know what's hilarious?" she slurred, gesturing wildly. "All of you perfect couples, perfect lives, perfect fucking families, you make me sick." "Rachel, let's go," I said, grabbing her arm. She jerked away, stumbled, laughed again. "Especially you," she pointed at me. "Poor Jennifer, poor stupid Jennifer." "What?" "You were so easy," she giggled. "So fucking easy. One little lie and boom, marriage over." The bar went silent. Everyone was staring. My blood turned to ice. "What are you talking about?" "Noah!" She was laughing hysterically now. "He never cheated on you, you idiot. There was no woman. I made it all up," she screamed, almost proud of it. "You... what?" "I was at your house that night, sure, watching through the windows like a creep. Noah was alone, folding laundry, watching TV. But you were so ready to believe he was just like every other man. So ready to think the worst. All I had to do was plant the seed. I couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. Someone, I don't remember who, was recording on their phone. "Why?" I whispered. "Because I was tired of watching you have everything I wanted." She wasn't laughing anymore. "Perfect husband, perfect kids, perfect house. You had it all while I had nothing. My husband cheated, but yours worshipped you. It wasn't fair. If I couldn't have a happy marriage, why should you?" "So you destroyed my family?" "I didn't destroy anything. You did that all yourself. I just told a little lie. You're the one who believed it. You're the one who called the cops, who kept him from his kids, who turned everyone against him. That was all you, Jennifer. I just gave you an excuse to show who you really are." I hit her. I don't remember deciding to, but suddenly my fist was connecting with her face and she was on the ground, and people were pulling me away. Someone called the police. I spent the night in jail. The video went viral in our social circle. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew. Noah's lawyer had it within hours. I lost everything in the final divorce settlement. The house, primary custody, my reputation, my friends, the court-ordered therapy revealed the extent of the damage I'd done to our children. The therapist's report was damning. Parental alienation, emotional abuse, psychological damage that would take years to undo. "I don't understand why Mommy lied about Daddy," Lily told the therapist in a session I was forced to attend. "Daddy never did anything bad. Mommy just got really mean and wouldn't let us see him. I was so scared Daddy didn't love us anymore." "He always loved you," the therapist assured her. "Sometimes adults make mistakes when they're hurt and confused." "But Mommy wasn't confused," Ethan interjected. 10 years old and wise beyond his years. "She was just mean. She wanted to hurt Daddy and she used us to do it." "That's not confusion," he said quietly. "That's just evil." Evil. My own son thought I was evil. And the worst part? He wasn't wrong. Noah got the house, the kids, the fresh start. I got supervised visitation at first, then every other weekend once I completed anger management and parenting classes. The kids come because they have to, but the damage is done. They're polite but distant, counting down the hours until they can go home to their father. Noah never gloated, never said, "I told you so." He's been remarkably civil through everything, focused only on helping our children heal from what I put them through. He's dating someone now, a pediatric nurse named Sarah who the kids adore. They're getting married next spring, and Lily's already talking about being a flower girl. "I hope Sarah makes Daddy happy," she told me during a recent visit. Noah must have told them. Maybe not every detail, but enough. Enough for my daughter to look me in the eye and say, "He deserves someone nice after what you did." 8 years old, and she pities her father for having been married to me. Rachel was charged with filing a false police report. I didn't know until much later that Rachel had also called the police that night, reporting a domestic disturbance at my house to make her story more believable. She got probation and community service. I haven't spoken to her since that night at the bar. I heard she moved to Birmingham, but I don't care enough to confirm it. My mother barely speaks to me. She's polite at family gatherings, but the warmth is gone. Mom said she saw how terrified the kids were back then, and she couldn't ignore that Noah was the only stable parent they had. She dotes on Noah, still calls him son, makes sure he knows he's always welcome at family events. The ultimate irony, my own mother chose my ex-husband over me. But then again, so did my children. So did everyone who matters. "You had a good man," she told me once, after a particularly tense Christmas dinner where Noah and Sarah were invited, and I was merely tolerated. "A good, faithful man who loved you. And you destroyed him because your bitter friend told you to. I didn't raise you to be this person, Jennifer. I don't know who you are anymore. Neither do I, Mom. Neither do I." I replay that weekend in my mind constantly. What if I'd called Noah immediately when Rachel first texted? What if I'd trusted my husband of 12 years over my jealous friend? What if I'd looked at those blurry photos and realized they showed nothing? What if I'd given him even one chance to explain? But I didn't. I chose rage. I chose destruction. I chose to believe the worst about a man who'd never given me a single reason to doubt him. Now I live in my little apartment, work my dead-end job, and count down the days between my limited time with my children. I watch through social media as Noah builds a new life with a woman who trusts him, who appreciates him, who would never weaponize their children against him. The kids are thriving now. Ethan's grades are back up, he's playing soccer again, smiling in all his pictures. Lily's in dance and gymnastics, chattering happily about her friends and her teacher and her new bonus mom who braids her hair better than I ever did. They're healing, slowly but surely, from the trauma I inflicted. Sometimes I drive past our old house, their house now, see the new swing set Noah built, the garden Sarah's planted, the signs of a happy family rebuilding after disaster. Last week, I saw them all in the front yard, Noah teaching Ethan to throw a football while Sarah and Lily planted flowers. A perfect family scene that I'm not part of. Because I chose to believe a lie. Because I chose cruelty over communication. Because I chose to destroy rather than discuss. 23 months since that party. 23 months of living with the knowledge that I'd destroyed my own life. Rachel may have lit the match, but I poured the gasoline and threw the dynamite. I took a good man's love and perverted it into something ugly. I took my children's security and shattered it for revenge that wasn't even justified. There's no redemption arc here, no forgiveness, no second chances. Just a woman in a one-bedroom apartment, pouring another glass of wine, scrolling through pictures of the family she threw away. Watching her ex-husband give another woman the life I should have cherished. Knowing that my children will grow up loving another woman as the mother I failed to be. My name is Jennifer. I'm 35 years old, and I'm the woman who had everything and destroyed it because I believed a jealous friend's lies over my faithful husband's truth. Some mistakes you can't come back from, Some damage can't be undone. Some betrayals cut too deep to heal. I should know. I'm living proof that sometimes the villain in the story is the one looking back at you in the mirror. Noah was right to fight for our children, right to protect them from me, right to move on and find someone worthy of his love. Because I proved, beyond any shadow of doubt, that I was never worthy of it. That's my story. The story of how I became the monster in my own fairy tale. The story of how I chose destruction over trust, rage over reason, lies over love. The story of how I lost everything that mattered and learned too late that some things, once broken, can never be pieced together again, no matter how hard you beg or how much you regret.